Welcome to the first edition of the Santi Show.
This is a news broadcast that shows the point of view of young Mexicans about the world's current situation.
On today's episode, our national news, we will talk about Mexico's most recent problems, like violence in Mexican schools and the fake chemotherapy in treatment in Veracruz.
And in the international news, we will talk about Trump's arrival to the White House. Then we'll get into sports. Stay tuned.
My name is Santiago.
And mine as well. So Santi, tell me your opinion about the gunshot in Monterrey.
Well, that's a serious topic, isn't it?
It is.
I believe it all started because of bullying and the other kids were bothering that now deceased child. And,
Yeah, that's a very sensitive topic in here in
Yes.
Mexico, bullying.
and I think the worst part is that gunshots and all that have become such a normal part of our daily lives, but they are so wrong that it's terrifying what will happen in the future.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is that we're accepting it. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing.
We're sharing photos, memes of the gunshot like it's a joke. Imagine the families of the kid who did it and of the families who for the person who suffered it.
Yeah, I have to watch that tragedy
Yeah.
one and again.
Well, that was unpleasant.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, we still have to talk about some bad news.
Yeah.
What do you think about the chemists in Veracruz?
Well, I think this topic is very, very embarrassing for Mexico.
Yes.
Imagine those poor kids paying for the chemios and giving them water. That's just going too low.
It's ridiculous that that is in charge of a state and who's sworn to protect it does something as ridiculous like this. For me, it's treason. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's going too far, but for me, it is wrong and it should be really, really punished.
Yeah.
Just imagine that your son or your brother or your sister or your cousin had cancer and it's not being treated correctly.
It could be the worst thing that can happen to your family.
Yes.
And this guy is only stealing the money. He only did it for money.
Yes.
That
And
is-
people trusted him. That's what I can't get my head over.
Oh.
Because it's someone you trusted. You saw as a leader and he betrayed you. He promised you something and he ended up giving you something that it wasn't. But it's not only his fault. It's the fault of doctors and nurses
Yeah,
and people who knew about
the people
that.
who knew who hide him.
Yes, it's not. It's the same thing to do the thing, than to know about the thing and not say anything.
Yes, just as bad.
Really
those,
horrible.
those poor kids. Well, in other news, we have Donald Trump arriving to the White House.
Great news again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really terrified about Donald Trump. You can see that already many companies from the US, such as Ford, and even from other countries like Volvo, are thinking of withdrawing their inversions in Mexico, which is ridiculous because Mexico is considered as the 8th best country to invest.
And the worst part is that he isn't president now. If he starts tomorrow.
Yes. And I am really confused because the people of the United States do not realize that if they start producing cars, iPods, and other things in there, the price of those things will raise a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be higher than importing products.
Yes. And not to mention that a lot of Mexicans will lose their jobs. Well,
Yeah, because the immigration problems and he wants to deport everyone.
Well, this is a very sad thing for the country.
Oh yeah, it
Dark
is.
moments are coming. And now, stay tuned for the results of the Mexican Soccer League.
Well, this is all for today.
Stay tuned for next episode where we will talk about now good news. Special thanks to our cameraman, Walter.